Well, good evening. This is Gina Tadella. I'm running a few minutes behind. I was having trouble getting both of my cameras on the right spot. So, anyways, I apologize. But for those of you watching the replay, it won't matter, right? So, anyway, so I'm creating with this beautiful butterflies and the hybrid embossing folder with the dies. Now, I'm not going to show you the big shot because I've showed that in quite a few videos. So I've already saw it because it takes so much space and it's cumbersome. But anyway, so I'm going to show you this. And this one right now, during celebration, you can earn this stamp set for free for a $60 order. And then you just order the hybrid embossing folder with the dies. So, and then I'm using, of course, these brushed brass butterflies as our accent. So let me show you the first one. Okay. The first one, it has a die. So let me explain something to you. So when you cut out your white piece, and you're just going to use a regular white, not the thick cardstock, right? Because we're going to use a cardstock base. You're going to cut it at 5 1/4 by, wait a second, am I right? Hold up. Don't trust myself here. Hold up. Yes. 5 1/4 by 8 inches. Okay? Then you're going to fold that in half. Then you're going to unfold it, and you're going to lay that die right on, there's a little line on the top of that die. You're going to lay it on there. I don't have the dies in here with me, but I will show this again. Anyways, I ran out of time, and I didn't want to be so dang late. I'm already, I was 15 minutes late getting on. So, anyways, and then you cut this out, and what it does, it causes a flap, right? So let me show you what we're going to do. So, you can glue this flat down because we're going to put it on a card base. And then, of course, I went ahead and die cut one of these, but we're going to cut these off because I cut a black one out. Okay? And we're going to cut that off because it doesn't match. And then we're going to lay this up on. And then this is embossed with the embossing folder. So you cut the items out, then you lay them in the embossing folder to emboss. That's why it's called a hybrid. So let's do this. So this is Highland Heather, and it's a 4 1/4 by 11. So let's go ahead and fold this in half. Been fighting a bug all weekend. I literally slept pretty much all day yesterday, off and on, and today too. So, but I feel so much better. If this was yesterday, I wouldn't be doing the video because I wouldn't have had a voice. So, okay. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and glue this on top of here. Okay? Get our combo glue. Hello, everyone. I gotta scroll up. Hey, Linda. There's 2 people on, but I don't see who the other one is. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, my husband had it last week, and of course, I end up with it. Okay, now we're going to glue that flatly down. Okay, now I want to glue this piece down. You can use dimensionals, but keep in mind, if you do that, you have to pay extra postage. Okay, now we're going to close that up. Just gently touch it. Make sure I didn't get too much glue too close to the outside edges. Okay. Now, let's cut these little antennas off. Let me put my glue back on. We don't need these. There's one. There's two. All right. Do these. That was easy enough. And now let's do the Highland Heather. You know what this color reminds me of? Lavender lace. You know, y'all have been with Stampin' Up for a long time. That's what this color reminds me of, is lavender lace, the Highland Heather. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the bone folder and curve. What is that? Stuck in my bone folder. Some type of it's thread. It's got glue on it. Probably from me. Okay, so that just curls those up. And then we want to do this, but when it's embossed like this, you want to do it gently. You want to do it heavy. Why? Because it will mess up what you did the dry embossing with. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to put glue here, or you can use tear tape. I think I took my tear tape in the other room, so I gotta just use the glue. Hey, Bee. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Sherry Parker. And Sherry Nelson. Hello, everybody. Well, like I said, I was a little late tonight, but maybe that was a good thing. Okay. So we put the glue right here, just in the center. Okay. Now you have an option. If you don't want that black body there, and you just want black antennas, but I want the black body there because it really shows the definition, and it makes the paper stand out. So that's going to be our next step. Just don't put no glue on these antennas. And then you could cut out two of them to give it a little bit of sturdiness. Just glue two together. Their cardstock is pretty thick, so I don't think you'll need two. So there's that. Now, we're going to put the glue here in the center. Before I get that set, I'm going to press on this and press on this. Now we're ready for the dimensionals. Where's my dimensionals? Fifi. She's bad. She takes off with them all the time. My kitty. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, I guess I won't be using that. I'll have to add them later, because I wasn't using dimensions on the other. But maybe I have. Do I have my foam strips here? Let me see if I have my foam strips. This stuff is so mishmash over here. Y'all would totally freak if you saw this desk. You're probably saying, no, mine's probably the same way. No. Okay, well, I guess I won't be doing that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and mount that on. Oh, fupa. Also, don't go all the way up. Didn't need it all the way up. Okay, now I got glue all over the fingers. Yeah, me too, Bee. Okay. So this body, so if you wanted a body that was as big, you want to cut one more out to have it as a solid color, because the other two dies don't do it. They're smaller. So don't copy what Gina just did. So you put the glue on the back here. Don't put it on the white body, because I totally spaced that all out. So what I need to do, I'll just go in here and cut that, right? because it's not going to show anyways. Do some surgery on this butterfly. There's that part. And that part. Now, more what I want. Made it surgically the way I want it. There we go. There you go, and hold that in place. But you can see how the butterfly leaves are already up. So you really don't have to put dimensionals if you don't want to. So there's that. Now we're just going to add some beautiful gold butterflies. And I say, where did I put them? Right by my left elbow. Excuse me. And these are one of the items that you can get for free for $60 also. Heads up. So, they revamped it on February 1st. Alright, I'm going to put one there. And make sure you pick them up to where they have the little blue dot. And then I'm going to put one over here. And now I'm going to put one going away. So there is the first one, and that's pretty much an easy card. And you just flip it up and put your message here. Or you can even put a gift card. Because see, you have the inside of this card base as well. See that? So, this gives you alternatives. So, hope you enjoyed that one. So, here's that. That's what the embossing folder looks like, and you're going to see that on the next one. And, of course, the dies cut out this one, and the side view, and then it's got a couple of them that goes for the sayings. But the last couple of weeks, I've chose not to put any greetings, so that way the people can make the card however they choose. That makes it more vital for each individual. So this way, they have a card idea, and then they can add their own sentiment. All right, so let me show you this one. We start off with a 5.5 by 8.5, and this is a thick white cardstock. Hey, Kathy Ryan. Glad you were able to join us from Miss Missouri. I've known Kathy a long time. Both of her, my ex-husband and her husband were in the Navy. Well, he was in the Navy, yes, but he was working with the air stuff. So here is Balmy Blue. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then this is 4 by 5 1/4 of basic white. You can see that I use the embossing folder on this. Now, you could use the blending brush and add color if you want. But what I did is I brought in the nice bokeh paper. Let me turn this over. It's a 2-inch strip by 5 1/4. So the 6-inch strip, you would cut it at 5 1/4. And then cut it in 2-inch strips. And then what we did is I took the 2-inch circle, punched out a half a circle, and then put that in there, and embossed all of it at the same time without it being glued down. Or you can glue it down and emboss it. Either way. And then, of course, I did the butterflies and the little one. So let's show this to put it together. First off, we're going to put our pieces together on the inlay. My glue. Hey, Shauna. Thanks for joining, my dear. Known you for a long time, too. Thank you. Are you here in Port Townsend, or are you in Eastern Washington? She has 2 homes in 2 places. Just depends on where John's at. So we're going to go ahead and line that up. And it's just a smidgen all the way around. There's that color. You'll understand when you go to add the paper. It really brings out the paper. There we go. Now we're going to add this piece, and we're just going to go and put glue here. Try not to get too close to your outside edges because it will seep out, which is what we don't want. And we're just going to line that up with the white edge, and then just gently press down. And I was at Julie Gardner's Friday night, and Tabitha showed this with a card with some pretty paper. It wasn't Stampin' Up's paper, but it was a beautiful card. Just showing this, and using the die cut Happy, and then birthday on it. And adding a butterfly. I said, well, I'm going to copy that layout design to show some cards this week. Because of snow, we're making up 2 weeks in 1 week this week. So there's that. It shows all the definition from the embossing folder. Okay. Now, if here we want to curve, use the bone folder. Where is it? Oh, right here. Oh, you're in Hansville. I don't know why I said Port Townsend. Sorry, Shauna. I knew you were in Hansville. Oh, my gosh. Oh, you're going to be going to Eastern Washington next week. Okay. So we curved up those edges. And the reason for that is so that way you don't have to use dimensionals. It still gives the height. Now we're going to add the glue on the black one, not the body. Remember I faux-pawed earlier. Okay. It wants us to move on its own. Has its own mind there. Now they have two bodies. You can use this one or the long one. The long one I used on the other card, but I didn't like it. You would have to trim it off. Okay. And so now we're just going to put a little bit of glue in the center. And you can have it coming out of the window, going towards the window, which is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to add some gold butterflies. Or this looks good with jewels. Any of them. Any of the beautiful. But I'm just going to use one type of embellishment tonight, because I don't like to overwhelm people. So we have plenty of embellishments, that's for sure. So there's one. Put one on this big one. Two. Which one's missing the glue dot? Not these. It's probably somebody else that used it. Missed the glue dot. That's why it's very important to make sure you slide your scissors or your, oh my gosh, take your pick tool underneath the image so that way you get all of it. There we go. So there is that, and now we're ready to put it on our card base. It makes it easier. So that way if you don't get the blue, now you can see and you can get it centered a lot easier. You see how I'm just coming around? Try not to get too close to the outside edge there. Now I usually just put a little bit in the center. You don't have to do a whole bunch, because this wet glue, it ain't going to come undone, but it does give you time to get it shifted to where you need it. And that's what I love about it. Plus, it's economical. Y'all notice adhesives, well, everything, you might as well say, has gone skyrocketing, but adhesives especially. So there is that one. So we did this one, and now we did this one. Now my favorite color. Now we're going to do Berry Burst. Let me close this up. So this one's done the same, except it doesn't have the layer like the blue one does. It's just got this, but I stamped it and then put that. So what I'm going to do is cut this antenna out. Sometimes you just have to surgically remove stuff that you don't want. Right? And just go right along there. See? Now it looks wonderful. Now, I'm going to put the glue on the black one. Not the butterfly, because I've noticed lately I've been putting it too much. So just gently dot it. Okay. Come on, glue. Alright. I know I had you closed. There we go. Oh, too much. Okay, this is where scrap cardstock comes in handy. Alright. Alrighty. Alright. There we go. And we'll move it up so you can see the antennas. There we go. Okay, so now I want to curve this. I have to remember to put my lid on my glue so that way it doesn't dry on me. Now, if you want to bow your antennas up, your butterflies up, you can. The only thing is I've seen that it causes it to catch on the envelope. So just heads up, especially when they're delicate. Okay, so now we're ready to put these pieces on. Let's fold our card base first. This is another 5.5 by 8.5. This is a portrait card. Our first one was a landscape, but using a portrait piece to do the die cutting. Alright, so we're going to do that, and we're going to move that to the side. And now, remember that excess glue I had? Get that off of there. We're going to go ahead and mount this piece. So as remember earlier, I took this is 4 inches by 5 1/8. This is 2 inches by 5 1/4. Wait a second. 5 1/4 by 4. Wrong. 4 by 5 1/4. 2 by 5 1/4. And then and this was laid on top. I'll show you what I mean. I laid the pieces, and instead of having this side, I flipped it over to this. No, I didn't. I did it this way, didn't I? I sure did. But that's all right. When you do the embossing, you want your opposite piece on the inside, but it's not going to make that much difference on this one. So that way, when it does all the embossing, it embosses it all the same way. That's important. Okay, so now let's get the glue on this big piece. Alright, and around the corner. Alright, now we're just going to slide this in here. And if you have a self-healing mat, or your hot glue mats, those are great to use as putting stuff together that has glue on it, because the glue rubs right off, just to give you a heads up. So what I'm going to do, since I did the embossing on the wrong side, I'm going to smooth this out just a little bit, so that way it takes the glue and it's easy to lay down. As I said, this is a 2-inch circle punch. These 2-inch circles are in our online store. They're not in the catalog. And they add stuff in the online store all the time, ladies, so you got to go in there and check it at least once every 2 weeks to see the new stuff. And it lasts for a period of time, and then it goes away. So, okay, now we're going to add this. And just a little bit in the center. You don't have to put much. And then center this. Wrong piece. On the very burst, this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This is our inner inlay before we mount it to the card base. That helps bring the accent of the paper to life. And if I had used the berry burst as my card base, I would have had to cut a white piece for the inside because it's dark, and to write on it you would have to have an inner layer. So that's why I sometimes do a lot of white card bases and then do my layers and everything on the. So see, it comes with small and large. So I'm going to pick up the large one, or you can say medium, put it there, and here, and then a small one right there. So let me move these out of the way, put that back in its case. So here is that card. Very nice. So this was, oh, it came off. Hold up. Didn't press on it. And this is where B's probably telling me, use tear tape. I should have. I didn't rub on it. Now it won't come off. So this was the first card I had designed first, but I showed it last. This was the second one that I designed, and this is the third one. So there are all three of the cards. Very easy, but I will say to use this stamp set you do have to have some type of die cutting machine, whether it's the Big Shot or the other brands out there. So you cannot do this card without having that. But you could create just with a stamp set with the butterflies if you didn't want dimensional. But thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back here next Monday at 7 p.m. Thank you. Bye-bye.